What is up, guys? Today we'll be taking a look at the Note 8 Pro versus the Bold M1. So these are both $200 budget smartphones, and they're very similar and they're very different in a couple of ways. So if you're torn between the two and you're trying to figure out which phone should you buy, we're going to go over the pros and cons of both. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's talk hardware. So both you have a glass and metal design. Starting with the Note 8 Pro, you have a really kind of heavy phone when you first get it. I've gotten used to it, but it is kind of heavy when you compare it to the Bold M1. It is definitely the Bold M1 is lighter, but this has a very solid feel. Feels like a $800 phone. You have a quad camera setup on the back. This is the pearl white color, very beautiful. Has a little pink tint to it. You've also got your power button and volume rockers. You've also got the SIM tray slot. Down below you have the headphone jack, USB Type-C, single firing speaker. Now with the Bold M1, this is the Raven Black, and you have a dual camera setup, LED flash, little Bold logo, a very kind of blank phone. The logo is down here, and it's just a really cool looking phone. It kind of has a tint to it as well. Glass back, metal frame. You have your power button, volume rockers on the side. You also got a single firing speaker, USB Type-C, and the headphone jack. Alright, so let's talk about the displays. So as you can see, water drop, no notch. You have the pop-up camera up top on the Bold M1. Now with the Note 8 Pro, you have an IPS display. It's a 6.53 inch 1080p 395 for the PPI. It's a very nice display, very bright, and it gives off some pretty good colors. Alright, so the Bold M1 has a no notch AMOLED display, 1080p 403 for the PPI, so it is slightly sharper, and it is an AMOLED display with no notch. And overall, I would pick this over a notch display any day, you guys know. But as far as like color accuracy, you're just gonna get better colors on an AMOLED display versus an IPS display. Now this is still a great display, and it does not wash out or anything like that, or it's a high quality IPS, but you're just gonna enjoy watching videos on the Bold M1. Alright, so when you are watching videos on here, you will be able to notice almost instantly the difference in color. But they both look similar. Like I said, it's just the difference in color, and you don't have the intrusion with the notch. So it just really comes down to you. This is a slightly bigger display as well. So it really comes down to that choice. Do you really care about having a notch or not? And do you really care about, an AMOLED display? Let's go ahead and run the speaker test. They both have single firing speakers. Okay, so here is the thing. You're getting a slightly fuller sound on the Bold M1, but the Bold M1 is actually cracking at high volumes. I can actually hear it kind of like has this cracking sound to it. So we're not getting that on the Note 8 Pro, but you're not getting as like a fuller sound with those 808s. But they both sound pretty similar. Like I said, this does do a little bit of cracking. Now as far as the OS goes, you're running Android 9 on both these guys, and I like that the Bold M1 has the Google Now thing over here. I really enjoy that. And on MIUI you just have kind of this, which is not as useful to me, but you can still bring up the Google Now. It's just not going to be on the swipe. So you have more customization options with MIUI 11, so that's really nice if you're into customizing your phone. And this is basically, pretty much stock Android on the Bold M1, most definitely. It's very clean, very simple, so that's also another thing to consider. Alright, so you have the Helio P70 on the Bold M1. You also have the Mali G72 GPU on top of 128 gigs of storage, 4 gigs of RAM, and you can expand that storage up to 128 gigs. Now on the Note 8 Pro, you actually have a more powerful G90T processor. So basically this will play games on high, and the Bolden 1 will pretty much play on medium kind of settings. Now you have the Mali G76 GPU, so as you can see, this is the more powerful phone. So if you're into gaming and stuff like that, definitely the Note 8 Pro is going to be the way to go for you. Now you do have micro SD support up to 256 gigs. This is the 64 gigabyte model, so you do have more storage on the Bold M1. Alright, let's find out how much faster this G90T is. So let's clear out all applications, and let's go ahead and start with Call of Duty Mobile. It's time right, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the G90T looks like it's done. Bolden 1. So actually not bad at all. But like I said, you know, the G90T is just the more powerful processor. If you're playing, it does support Fortnite. This does support Fortnite. This does not support Fortnite yet. I don't know if it will, but it still is not compatible. I think you might need like 6 gigs of RAM. Subway Surfer. Very, very close. Let's try YouTube. 3, 2, 1. I think the Bolden 1 got it there. So as you can see, very similar, but this is more powerful when you actually get into gaming. Alright, so let's talk about the camera situation. So you have a quad camera setup. You have a 64 megapixel wide and 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Shoots in 2160p max, and for the front camera, 20 megapixel wide, shoots in 1080p. Now with the Bolden 1, you have a dual camera setup, 16 megapixel and a 5 megapixel depth sensor, shoots in 1080p. Then you have the pop-up camera that shoots in 1080p. Now you are missing the ultra wide camera on here, which, you know, I wish they would have added that instead of the depth sensor, and you can't shoot in 2160p on the Bolden 1 as well. So as you can see, spec wise, the Note 8 Pro, you're getting you know, more for your money here. Alright, so we got the Bolden 1 on the right, Note 8 Pro on the left. So just kind of zoom in, you can see which one you prefer, which one you think looks better. Here's another point and shoot, and as you can see, the Note 8 Pro did a much better job right here. Dramatically different. As you can see with the detail and stuff like that. It's a big difference. And here is the front facing camera, and I think the Note 8 Pro color accuracy on the front facing camera. Here's another picture of the mic, and as you can see how similar they both look. But I think the Note 8 Pro just gets more detail, as you can see. Alright, so the fingerprint scanner situation. So you have the front facing fingerprint scanner on here, which lights up. It's really cool. And you know, it works. Now this one is going to be faster since it is on the back and it's a physical one, and it's pretty much instant. So you're not going to be, you know, really struggling with this one. But here's the thing about the one on the back. If I want to like unlock the phone, I have to obviously pick it up. This one I can just flat on the table. So that's something that you might have to think about. But is this slower than the physical one? Yes. Is this one cooler? Yes, the built-in one is cooler, but it's not as fast as this one. But this one, you have to pick it up, so you just have to make that decision. Me personally, I don't mind the you know, the fingerprint scanner on here. It's pretty decently fast. It's not on OnePlus you know, status, but it is it does get the job done. So they're both great for getting into your phone. You do have face unlock on here, and you do not have face unlock on the Bolden 1. You cannot use that pop-up camera to unlock your phone. Alright, so with the Bolden 1, you have a 3500 milliamp battery. We did a battery drain test for this phone. I might do one again, but we got around 6 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time, 18 watt fast charging. You also have wireless charging on here as well, 10 watt wireless charging, which is awesome. Now with the Note 8 Pro, you have a 4500 milliamp battery, 18-watt fast charging, but no wireless charging, so you cannot charge your device wirelessly. This got around 7 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time, so you're getting slightly better battery thanks to just the huge 4,500 milliamp battery on here. Alright, so which phone should you get? They're both around $200. If you're into gaming and stuff like that, go with the Note 8 Pro. If you're into doing a lot of media, the display on the Bolden one is much better. No notch, AMOLED. You're just going to enjoy watching media, and you do get more storage out of the box. So that is pretty much it, guys. I think the cameras are better on the Note 8 Pro. You do have that really cool IR blaster, but I don't know how useful that is. And you have a couple other little cool things like the fingerprint scanner built into the display. So you have to kind of make your decision based on those pros and cons. So which one would you guys pick up? Let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.